Hey, I haven't been live on Facebook in forever. Oh my gosh, I usually do my lives on TikTok, but I did want to do this live on here, okay? Let me make sure I have the title. I think I had the title in here. But yeah, so I wanted to do a little, I don't want this live to be super long, but I just have a lot to say on, we're gonna talk about fertility. There's so many myths surrounding our biological clock as women. And I want to touch on some of those. I want to touch a little bit on the series, Why Did I Get Married? Why the F Did I Get Married? Okay, that's the name of the series, and it's I'm going to give a little information about that, sum it up, because I know some people haven't watched it, they haven't watched the full thing. But I feel like it's really important for me to talk about this, touch on this a little bit, because it kind of correlates to my live and what I want to say in this live, okay? So if you guys don't mind, if you're watching the replay, please share this live, because women need to see this, because there's still so much misinformation about fertility. There's still so much fear and anxiety about our biological clocks. People don't even understand, to the point where people don't understand what a biological clock actually is. So I'm going to talk about that, okay? And I'm going to debunk some myths in this live. If you want to share, please share. If you feel inclined to share, please share. And also, please hashtag live if you're in, okay? Definitely want this to be interactive, all right? But I definitely want to give some disclaimers before I get started, because, yeah, people have said a few things on my lives, and, oh, excuse me, not on my lives, on my posts and things. I've heard some things on my posts. So let's just say this, okay? I'm 100%. I don't want this live to like invoke any fear and anxiety when it comes to marriage or anything. That's not what I'm trying to do, right? I'm giving you information, but I'm not trying to invoke fear into you, okay? And I also want to say this, that I'm 100% in support of marriage, of healthy marriages, 1,000%, okay? I've heard some people call me a feminist on some of my posts, and that's neither here nor there. I'm not a feminist, just to let you guys know. Even if I was, it wouldn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't matter. But anyway, I just want to say that I'm 100% in support of marriage, of healthy marriages, okay? But I will say that some of the comments I'm going to make regarding this topic or regarding what I'm going to say may be a little controversial. So I just want to give a warning up front just to let you guys know, okay? So I want to touch a little bit on the series. If you guys have a question about anything, let me know. Even if it, like, whether it's fertility, whether it's any type of womb issue, anything like that, let me know, or my services, and I'll definitely answer questions. Feel free to make this interactive, okay? Hashtag live if you're in, okay? Hashtag replay if you're watching the replay, all right? And also feel free to share. So I want to talk about a little bit about fertility health. Here's the thing, like, a lot of women don't understand what fertility, they don't understand their biological clock, okay? They don't understand what it actually means. And because society has projected so much, you know, and it's for a reason, it's by design, society has projected a lot of fear and anxiety and have women in like this panic mode to the point where they're not making good decisions, okay? They're not, some women, not all, they're not making good decisions. They're making rushed decisions, and they're also in a state of fear and anxiety. Because when you're desperate, when you're in fear, when you're anxiety, when you're feeling lack, when you're not content with yourself, you don't make the best decisions, okay? Hey Taquana, hey, welcome. Hope that you're doing amazing, okay? Yes, thank you for hashtagging live. If you're in here, hashtag live, everybody's watching. That's one thing about Facebook, people just watch and they don't say. Never mind. But anyway, a little intro. My name is Sasha. I'm a holistic woman wellness specialist, okay? So what I do is I help women who have issues with their womb, who have fibroids, who have ovarian cysts, okay? Who have, you know, issues with their menstrual cycle. I help them address it from the root cause and actually get rid of their fibroids, their cysts, restore hormonal balance. I've helped many women get pregnant who are dealing with fertility issues. All the women I've helped, by the way, who get pregnant were in their late 30s and early 40s, okay? Let me just mention that. I'm just going to segue into that, okay? So I've helped many women heal, many women completely, not just shrink their fibroids and cysts, but also completely get rid of it, okay? Actually just had a recent client who literally went from 6 fibroids to 4, and the 4 all shrunk. So just want to make that point, make you guys aware, okay, in case you guys are following me for the first time, or you're seeing me live for the first time. Because again, I usually do my lives on TikTok, okay? So hopefully, I'm hoping that some of you guys follow me on TikTok if you're interested in watching my lives. I do not do lives on Facebook, but I wanted to do this live on Facebook, okay? And if you didn't know, hey Tasha, hey Ellie, hey, if you did not know, Also, too, I have a free masterclass coming up on how to improve your menstrual cycle. So if you have painful menstrual cycles, if you have heavy menstrual cycles, if you have menstrual cycles that last longer than 4 days, which is not normal, okay, or, you know, clotting, any issues, right, bloating, breast tenderness, you need to be in that masterclass. It's free. It's on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to the link in my caption. You'll see it. You go ahead and register, okay? And if you registered, you should have got an email this morning. If you did not get the email, reach out to me. Look, you know, also look through your spam, your junk mail, your promotions. If you didn't get the email, look, you know, let me know. Just here to see the pretty. Okay, hey. Okay, so. Hope that everybody's doing amazing, by the way. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about it, right? Did you guys, let me know if you guys watched the series, Why the F Did I Get Married? I don't want to curse, so I'll probably just say, who did I get married to, or whatever, right? There's a series on TikTok by a creator called Risa, and she's pretty much, I'm just going to sum it up. In case you guys didn't watch, I'm going to sum it up real quick, right? Pretty much what the series is about a woman who met a man during the pandemic. They quickly moved in together. They got married, and pretty much everything that he ever told her, I'm talking about everything. I watched the full 50-part series because it was like, I was shocked about how many things he lied about. Everything he told her was a lie, from family members to family members who died, to, you know, him having, you know, money, to him, what he was going to do for her as far as buy her a car, house, all these things. Everything was a lie. And the reason, and she was very transparent. She was very detailed. So I knew she wasn't lying because she had dates and everything. She was very detailed. And what she said was she took full accountability. She's like, the reason why this happened to me, because she was with him for like a whole year, right? The reason, and she was married, I think they were married for like 6 months before she divorced him. The reason this happened to me was because I was desperate. You know, I was at that point where my biological clock was ticking, and I was desperate. I wanted to be married. I wanted to have children, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get married and wanting to have kids. Honestly, I think that most women, now some women won't admit it, right? And some women, due to trauma, they may feel differently. Most women do want marriage. Some women may be jaded due to trauma, so they say, no, I want to stay single. But for the most part, most women do want marriage, whether they want to admit it or not, right? With the right person, of course. They're not desperate for it, hopefully, but with the right person. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because she said something key. I would not have fell for this if I wasn't desperate, if I had confidence in myself, I was content with myself, I would never have fell for this. She said something key that I think women need to tune into, okay? Because even though nobody's going to come out and admit it, I'm desperate, right? But a lot of women do feel that pressure of, quote unquote, the biological clock. And guess what? The way you think about your biological clock, the way you've been told by society what your biological clock is not even really what a biological clock even is, okay? In terms of fertility. Did you know that? So the reason why the term the biological clock became popular in terms of, you know, when it comes to fertility is because there was a guy, a journalist, okay, who what was this? This was like 1978. I have my notes here. Wrote an article called "The Clock is Ticking for Career Women," and this was in response to feminism. You know, him pushing back against that. So pretty much telling women from 27 to 35. You know, your clock is ticking, you're in the danger zone. There are a lot of women are regretting, you know, going for careers instead of marriage, all that stuff, right? So he coined the term the biological clock, okay? So that's when people started talking about the biological clock in terms of fertility. It barely has anything to do with fertility when you look up what a biological clock is. So this is then people get caught up with this age thing. Now, when I say people, I mean women, right? And society. This is also how society scares women, because society benefits, you know, contrary to popular belief, when a woman is in fear and, you know, and having anxiety, society benefits from that financially, because you're probably going to freeze your eggs. You're probably, you know, which is a waste of, don't get me started on that. But you're probably going to run and freeze your eggs. You're probably going to, you know, just hurry up and choose somebody, and then you're probably not going to make the right decision, and then you're going to divorce, which of course, you know, more money for the economy, okay, all of that stuff. Let's really talk about it, right? So society does benefit from having, especially men do benefit from having women in anxiety mode. Because when women are anxious, when they do not feel like they're enough, they will make decisions based on that, okay? So a lot of women have been taught from childhood, you're not really, pretty much it's ingrained in them in a way, in a subtle way. You're not a real woman until you're married, until you're chosen by a man. You're not a real woman. You're not, you know, you're nothing until you're chosen by a man, okay? That's been ingrained in a lot of women's, I would say most women's, you know, really, that's been ingrained in them in a subtle way. But what this does is cause, you know, women to not really value themselves 100%, right? Because when you're looking at your value in terms of through the eyes of a man, and you're not really looking at it in terms of, you know, in the eyes of yourself, that's, you know, that's not really healthy. Let me just put it out there. I'm not saying, like, listen, I'm not saying, disclaimer again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with marriage or having children or wanting marriage, desiring. That's actually normal, to be honest. That's 100% normal. But when you desire something so much that you feel like you're nothing without it, or you feel like, you know, incomplete without it, that's wherein lies the problem, right? So so now you have women who are, like, let's say, like, their late 20s, 30s, who literally have this anxiety, feeling like, okay, my time is running out. My biological clock, in quotations, is running out. And if you guys know what I'm saying, let me know. Like, has this been ingrained in you as a child? Like, you know, you're pretty much nothing until you're chosen by a man. I'm not saying that it's wrong for people to encourage you to get married. I'm not saying that. But there's a difference between that and, in a subtle way, telling you you're not enough as the woman that you are, because the same is not done to men. Let's be honest. It's not done to men. That's why men don't really feel the pressure of the age thing. And, you know, even though, yes, sperm does age too, and sperm does cause birth defects, autism. Like, studies show this, right? But nobody talks about it, right? They just talk about women, right? So what is a biological clock really? A lot of women don't understand it. A lot of people don't understand what it really is, a biological clock, okay? It's actually the processes in your body that describe our body's natural circadian rhythm. So we all have a natural circadian rhythm, right? We all have sleep and wake cycles in our body. We all have, you know, the human body is responsible for governing and, you know, your hormone secretion, for example, your blood pressure, you know, the processes of in your body, right? So this is what a biological clock is. It doesn't have, I'm not saying that it doesn't have anything to do with fertility, but they're not really giving you, like, the real definition. And that's the issue. So your metabolism, these things, right? And we know that when it comes to, you guys know I always talk about, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I always talk about hormonal balances, these reproductive health issues, right? You know, things like gut health, all these things, you know, all these things have an impact on your health, on your fertility too, okay? All of these things, and women don't really see that. They're just seeing age, and that's it. If I'm old in my 30s, if my term is running out, I gotta hurry up, to the point where they have some women that, you know, who after 35 is saying, you know what, I'm this age, I'm not even gonna get married, I'm not even gonna have a child, knowing that's actually what they want, but because they think they're too old, they're like, you know what, I'm gonna just hang it up and just be by myself. And I'm just like, that's really, unless that's really what you want, because let's be honest here. You guys can let me know if I'm wrong. But I think I would say 90% of women don't want to be alone. Same thing with men, okay? No, because we're not even like, people don't want to be alone, right? But because of their trauma, because they think that, you know, they've seen their past trauma, maybe trauma of other people, because a lot of people will project their trauma onto you, what they went through onto you. And people feel like they have to take that on and think, oh my God, all these men and this. Not like, you know, just because somebody else went through something, you have to take that on and wear that. No, you don't. You don't. And a lot of people probably don't believe this, but a lot of us attract what we are. Let's be honest. Let's talk about that, how we attract what we are. So if you are in anxiety mode, you feel like you're not enough because you're not married, you have some issue with that, you feel inadequate, guess what? Guess what you're going to attract? And I'm happy that she was, I commend her, the lady that made this, why the F did I get married? I commend her because she was honest about what state she was in before she married this man who lied about everything. The signs were clear from day one, because I was like, girl, like, you don't see what's going on? I was watching this like, I was to the point where I was laughing because his lies were so stupid. Not laughing at her, but I was laughing because the lies were so dumb. I was like, you don't see that it was crazy. If you haven't watched the full series, it's long, but watch it, ladies. It's the things that he lied about. I'm like, I hope that she gets a Netflix special, Lifetime movie, something, because it's the rabbit hole is deep. This man lied about so many things, had paperwork to prove it, and so many things. Okay, but she knew early on that he was lying. She knew. Okay, she could have got out early on. But she was like, the reason she said the reason why she did not get out because she was fearful, because she wanted this so much and she thought that it was her turn. That's what she kept using, that term. I thought it was my turn. Finally, I've been through so much with men. I thought this was my turn. I thought, you know, and then the reason why she actually mentioned about feeling a little guilty about divorcing him because of her religion. She's highly religious, you know, Christian. I'm like, girl, it's not even a real marriage, but that's another whole other thing. But because she allowed that anxiety, that fear, her biological clock, because that's what she was saying, it trapped her into this, I don't even know what it was. It wasn't a marriage, okay? But this situationship with this man, right? Because she didn't want to she first moved him into her house because she didn't want to quarantine alone. Again, I know that a lot of people lost their minds during the pandemic. But that's a whole other conversation. A lot of people lost their common sense, their minds, you know, because of the pandemic. Some of us just went on living like it was normal, like me. But is that on Netflix? No, it's on TikTok, actually. Her name is Risa. It's actually on TikTok. It's 50 parts, 50 videos. It's very long. I watched the whole thing. I literally finished like an hour or two ago. Okay, I started last night. I was like, I was in the gym listening to it. I woke up listening to it. I fell asleep listening to it. It's because I was just like, the rabbit hole goes deep. It's very entertaining, and she's a very great storyteller. So that's why I'm hoping that somebody picks this up, because I'm sure she's going to get millions off of this. She's going to write a book, something, okay? So she said that if this was somebody that was confident about themselves, it's not a show. It's she's on guys, it's not fake. This is her real life. She's telling it on TikTok. Okay. Her name is Risa on TikTok. I can link it in the description. But I can link it in the comment section after the live. I'll link her page. You'll see literally 50 parts. She just started it like a few days ago. Literally, I think her last video was like, she recorded it yesterday. Okay, so pretty much she admitted, and I'm gonna be 100%. I'm just gonna keep it real. She is a plus size woman. Okay, she was saying she thought it was her turn, and I think that I could just see the low self-esteem. Like I'm really good with energy, and I could just see this woman really has low self-esteem. And she's so traumatized. She divorced him in 2021. She has not dated since. She's scared of dating. She's scared of men. She's scared of, I'm just like, oh Lord. Like, she's that scared because everything he told her, everything was a lie. Like, this man lied about everything, right? And because but she knew in the beginning, but she just kept ignoring things, because she wanted the outcome. She wanted the marriage. She wanted to have a child. She was, in her words, desperate for that. Okay, based on the truth. It's her story. Yeah, she's telling her story. Love those. A lot to learn from it. Because how many women are also too, and a lot of women were commenting, oh my God, they would never fall for this. I'm going to be honest with you. I think 8 out of 10 women would. I'm going to be 100. Knowing if you get a woman at a certain age, how a lot of women are with this whole biological clock, and don't even understand how fertility works, a lot of women would fall for that. I'm going to be honest with you, because they're thinking again, you know, he was paying all the bills in her household. But then found out that, you know, he made it seem like he had almost $1 million in like some offshore account, lied about it. Okay. And found out everything was a lie. The guy was pretty much homeless after like they divorced. It was crazy. It was crazy. Oh my gosh. I was just like, how is this real life? You could tell she was being honest. And it was very hard for her to share that story, and be that vulnerable. But she was like, she had to just do it to say, if she could say one woman. And then the internet is so crazy that they actually ended up finding him. Okay. Which I actually think is a blessing. But, you know, that's a whole other conversation. But what I'm trying to pinpoint is that we have to stop regurgitating this incorrect fertility advice, this incorrect advice about biological clocks. I see a lot of women on social media and just in general doing it, and you're part of the problem. When you regurgitate, a woman's biological clock is ticking because, you know, she has to have a baby by a certain age. If you regurgitate that, you are part of the problem. You pushing that, like that misinformation on people, you are part of the problem. So please stop. Your health is what matters. There's a difference between your biological age and your chronological age. Let's talk about it. And I want you guys to do some research about your biological age. Please do. Okay? Because the age that you are chronologically may not be the age that you are when we're talking about your health. Okay? There's a difference between your biological age, let me say that again, and your chronological age. And that does matter. Your biological age matters much more when it comes to fertility than your chronological age. I'm gonna be honest with you. Your chronological age barely matters when it comes to fertility, because most women have horrible hormonal health. They have horrible gut health. They have fibroids, cysts, heavy bleeding. That's what you need to worry about. Instead of focusing on that, you're focusing on your chronological age, and my time's running out. Instead of you focusing on your health. So instead of this woman focusing on her health, you know, getting her body, because she admitted it, she's like, I gotta lose some weight, right? She's worried about, she only has a limited amount of time due to her age. Instead of focusing on actually getting her body healthy, loving her body, getting it to a healthy point so that she is ready for, you know, the time when she actually meets, like, you know, whoever, her soulmate, love of her life, her husband, whatever, right? But she was trying to force it with somebody that she shouldn't have been with because of society has projected the fear onto her. So stop falling for it. Stop falling for this fear, this lack, this I'm nothing without a man unless I'm chosen by a man. That's not true. And if you're a religious person, which most people that follow me are, you definitely shouldn't believe that you're nothing unless you're chosen. That's a lot. I know a lot of women were taught that. A lot of women were, hey, Robin, exactly. A lot of women, like in a subtle way, was taught that you hear things like, for example, you can't keep a man, or you don't got no man. That's used as an insult towards women. It's never used as an insult towards men. Notice that. But those type of insults, what it's saying is that you yourself don't feel like you're nothing without a man, and that's not true. Being married is beautiful. Being in a relationship is beautiful, right? Healthy marriages are beautiful. You know, having children, beautiful, right? But you're still you whether you have it or not. You're still you whether you have it or not. And for those that say, well, I don't want to die alone, or you're going to die alone, listen. We all die alone. We all in that casket by ourselves. You can be married and still die alone. You can be married. I've had family members who were married and had car accidents by themselves going to work. I've had friends and family, literally. I had a family member who literally, you know, her husband died while she was in the bathroom. Like, literally in the bed. So that's ridiculous for you to say, you know, I don't want to die alone. Listen, first of all, we all die alone. We are born alone. We all die alone. Okay. Even you die alone, even if you have a twin. So for you to think that you're nothing unless you are chosen by a man, we got to stop. And we have to also stop projecting that onto women. For you to think that you're nothing because you think that your biological clock is ticking, that's ridiculous. For you to actually have society. That's why a lot of women are on anxiety medication right now, on depression medication, because of things like this, right? And like I said in the beginning, society benefits when women are in fear and making decisions out of lack and making decisions out of being anxious. You don't make good decisions when you're anxious. You don't make good decisions when you're in lack. You don't make good decisions when you don't love yourself. Okay? And I don't know whether you believe me or not, it's a fact. You don't. Okay? So we have to really, this also correlates with womb health issues, because guess what? When it comes to fibroids and cysts, they also have emotional root causes. They have spiritual root causes. So a lot of women who feel unfulfilled, maybe because they're not married, or who feel unfulfilled, you know, due to not be, you feel inadequate, you feel unfulfilled, you feel like a shell of yourself because you're not, whatever, right? You're not married, you don't have a boyfriend, whatever, right? A lot of women who feel that insecurity, a lot of times that's how these fibroids manifest. Because how can you, if you love yourself, how can you feel like you're nothing unless you're chosen by a man? That's not going to be the case. Or if you love yourself, there's certain behaviors that you're not going to allow. You're fine whether you're single or you're married, right? Not saying it's, like I said, it's not bad to want to get married. It's not bad to want $1 million, right? But at the same time, if we feel inadequate without it, that's where, that's where it's not healthy. Okay, if that makes sense. Society needs to be more open-minded. Women are more to be in the wife. Absolutely. And here's the thing, Ellie. Here's the thing. We cannot rely on society to actually do that. We got to rely on ourselves. So if you feel inadequate because of certain, like, whether maybe your financial situation, whether you're partnered or not, you got to look at yourself and ask yourself why. And I am the same person, whether I have these things or not. I'm still, I'm still the same person, whether I have these things or not. I still love myself regardless of whether I have these things or not. It's not a sin for you to have desires. Okay. Yes, we're human. We have desires, but whether you have them or not, like at the current moment, you shouldn't feel any different. I'm going to be honest with you. You shouldn't feel any different. Okay. And some people actually make things, I guess, harder for them to achieve due to like this attachment. Get what I'm saying? This attachment to something. We're not supposed to be so attached to things. We're supposed to, again, attract and let things come into our lives. When you're heavily attached, things run away from you. Or chasing something, it runs away from you even further. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. And I want to say this, your biological age is what you need to worry about and less about your chronological age. I'm telling you this as somebody that's helped women in their 40s even get pregnant. Okay? Who've had fertility issues before. We're not in a time where women in their 20s are having fertility issues. Yes. Okay? Due to PCOS, endometriosis, fibroids, and these reproductive health issues are very common. So it's not even an age thing anymore. You have women little girls 15 with fibroids. It's no longer an age thing. It is about your health. What is your health looking like? What is your reproductive health looking like? What is your hormonal health, your gut health looking like? It has nothing to do with your age. I'm going to be honest with you. Very, very little. What is your biological age? You need to be more worried about that than how many years you've been on this earth. Because that's really what chronological age is. You need to be more concerned about that. Okay? And I see a lot of people with bad health talking about, and this is what really makes me upset when I see people who I know have bad health, because I could tell, I could just tell. And they're talking about, the biological clock and in the wrong context. And they're talking about all these things that don't make any sense. It's 2024. You have to stop with this old fertility data that comes from the 1600s. You have to stop. You have to stop regurgitating it over and over and over again, and stop regurgitating it in your head over and over again. Okay? It's dead. Let it die. And you regurgitating it is allowing it to also seep in your subconscious and also too in other people's subconscious. We got to let it die. Okay, so that people won't rush into marriages and rush into situations that actually could harm them. That girl in the series is lucky this man did not harm her, that she was able to get out. He didn't, ruin her financial state. He could have, ran up her credit and all. She's lucky. Okay, a lot of women do not get away unharmed. They do not. Okay, because they didn't trust your intuition. How can you trust your intuition when you want something, you're so desperate? You can't. You can't. You have numbed your intuition and you have just, went forth. We're blessed as women with intuition and discernment for a reason. But a lot of women are disconnected from their bodies, disassociated from their bodies. Okay? And that's why they're not able to, even fathom their intuition and what their intuition is telling them. Okay? If you have reproductive health issues, I know a lot of times the intuition is blocked. Okay? It's blocked. Yes, time to tell that old way of thinking that no longer serves us to die out. Exactly, Robin. I'm like, in 2024, people are still talking about biological clock in the wrong context, not even knowing what it really means. You can easily Google it. Like, it doesn't make any sense what people are talking about this like it's law. Are you that indoctrinated? Okay? We have to unlearn certain things. Please, what's the difference between biological age? I'm sorry, you asked, and chronological age. So when you talk about biological age, this is the measure at which your body is aging. Like your body's organs, like the pace at how your body is aging. Okay? If that makes sense. So you can be 40 years old chronologically, and you could be 30 years old biologically because you actually take care of yourself. You actually are healthy. You don't have fibroids. Your hormones are in balance. Okay. Your gut health is great. You eat great. You very low stress. You could be 40 years old and biologically you could be 30. Also, you can be 30 years old. Hear me what I'm saying. I'm talking to everybody. You could be 30 years old and biologically be 40 because you got fibroids. You have PCOS, you got heavy bleeding that you haven't addressed, you eat like crap, okay? You don't watch your weights, you don't go to the gym, you're highly stressed out, you're allowing your job to stress you out, you're around toxic people in stressful relationships because a relationship will age you. A bad toxic relationship will also age you, right? Because you don't want to be alone, you feel inadequate being by yourself, so you're in a toxic relationship or a toxic marriage. That will age you. So you may be 40 or 45 biologically. So hopefully that makes sense, okay? And the good thing about your biological age is, yes, you can you can work on it. You can lower it, right? You can lower that age. And we want to lower it as much as we can. That's where the health really lies. That's where your fertility health really lies. Not in your chronological age. After 21, that doesn't even matter. That don't even matter. I'm going to be honest, that don't even matter when it comes to fertility. And you're talking to somebody that has helped many women get pregnant, many women get their body in good health, heal their hormones, their gut health, get rid of fibroids, cysts, restore hormonal balance, and have gotten women out of what they thought was menopause, okay? So, I know I said a mouthful, but we got to stop. So if you find, you are, like I said earlier, you're part of the problem. You're out here saying, oh, the biological, for example, I'm going to give you an example. I don't follow a lot of celebrity gossip, but the singer, I think Ashanti is pregnant, right? Somebody was saying on my post, well, she, what did they say? They said that, well, she's in her 40s, so she, she needs to have a baby now, or she may never, that's not true. That again, when you say things like that, you're negating, okay, you don't know whether Ashanti's in good health or not. She looks to be in good health, absolutely, but we don't know whether we don't know her biological age is. We don't know whether she's in, I'm sure she is healthy, but we don't know, whether her hormones are balanced. We don't know how her gut health is, how she eats. We don't really know these things, right? So you stop saying things like that. Oh, her age. How do you know? How do you know? You don't know. You don't know. If you really take care of yourself the way you're supposed to, you don't know that you could really have babies comfortably in your late 40s if you want to. Early 50s too. But that's a whole other conversation, right? A lot of women don't believe that. They think after 35 they're done. It's over for them. Because they've been taught that. And for you to actually believe that is very sad. But if you want to believe that, that's up to you. But don't project that false belief, that false information onto others. That shows that you lack critical thinking, okay? That shows that I know most people do. Most people lack critical thinking skills, but that's not. Do some research on what a biological clock is and where that term came and why it's there to indoctrinate you and to make you fearful, okay? So if you stop living life out of fear and anxiety, okay, and doubt, and people that call themselves Christians too, okay? You cannot call yourself Christian and you have anxiety over, oh, nobody's going to marry me, or no, I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest with you. You shouldn't have that fear, okay? What happened to faith? We all forget about that. I hear people talk about how, it's demonic to do yoga, it's demonic to, what else do they say these days? Drinking Starbucks is demonic. That's what people are saying all up my timeline. But when it comes to actually having, being fearful, they don't talk about how that is demonic. They don't talk about how being in anxiety, how not having faith, that is actually a sin. But that's another conversation, okay? So I say all that to say, so does anybody have any questions before I just want to say all that to say that? And if you haven't, listen, if you're watching this and you have issues with your cycle, you have heavy cycles, you have, anemia, you got, cycles that last longer than 4 days. You have a menstrual cycle that lasts longer than 4 days. Okay. You bleed more than 4, which is hemorrhaging. After 4 days, it's hemorrhaging. If you, have clotting during your cycles, if you bleed in between your cycles and you haven't registered for my free masterclass, what are you doing? Okay. I have a free masterclass called How to Improve Your Menstrual Cycles on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that you need to register for. Okay. So instead of having anxiety over your biological clock, how about you get your body and you get your body in the best health possible. Okay. By improving your hormonal health, your menstrual cycle, okay, which actually, your menstrual cycle is a reflection of your health, just to let you know that. It's your body's fifth vital sign. So it's very important for you to if you're having issues with your menstrual cycle, to address that. And I'm going to teach you literally how to, okay? So you need to be in that master class. If you're not in that master class, if you haven't registered, go ahead and register. The link is in my caption, okay? So instead of having anxiety about things, you can't control your chronological age, but you can control your biological age. You can control your health, your fertility health. Yes, you can. You can control whether you have fibroids or cysts, because I always say it's a choice, because I'm helping. Listen, if you've been following me any length of time, you know how many women that I've helped get rid of these things, right? By lifestyle and diet changes, okay? So it's at this point, it's a choice. I'm going to be honest with you, right? So get your body in good hormonal health and stop having all this damn fear and anxiety, okay? And I'm not talking to one particular person. I'm just talking to everybody in general, because I'm tired. I'm tired. I watched this series and just utter disbelief that this is still happening in 2024, that women are still feeling desperate, inadequate because they're not married. And I'm just like, what's going on? It's okay to have desires. Again, being married is a beautiful thing. However, to be desperate, to be fearful, to hate yourself too much that you're afraid of being single, that means, like, what's wrong with that? Are you saying you don't like yourself? Because I'm going to be honest with you, a person that's not comfortable being single, in my personal opinion, should not be married. Like, if you're not comfortable being by yourself, because nobody can. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody. You just can't. Hey, Roxana. I said a lot during this live. You're probably gonna have to replay this live. But if you're not comfortable being by yourself, you cannot be. Like, if you can't love yourself by yourself, you're not ready for any type of marriage or relationship, okay? And this lady has seen that, and many women have seen that, because there was many women in the comment section, to my shock and other belief, saying that they went through the exact same thing. Their ex was the same way. And I'm like, wait a minute, because him being a pathological liar, to me, that's a mental illness. So I'm like, there's other people walking around like that. I've met people that lied, but not on that level, okay? So if you have not watched the series, it's on TikTok, Why the F Did I Get Married? Watch it as a learning, I would say, especially for the single woman, watch it to, even married women, there's even men watching it and enjoying it, okay? But watch it as to learn, and to see how society's indoctrination, okay, can have you make decisions out of fear, lack, and have you completely numb your intuition and ignore your intuition, okay? So that's all I wanted to say. I know I said a lot, but just, ladies, listen, stop falling for this projection of fear, of anxiety when it comes to your biological clock. The biological clock is literally, again, has your body's natural circadian rhythm. It has nothing to do with your fertility, okay? And get your biological age in order. Work on that. Your chronological age, you can't change. It's just the number of years you've been on this earth. That's literally all it is. But you guys take it like it's like life and death, and it's crazy to me, okay? So that's pretty much all. Okay, that's all I have to say. Does anybody have any questions before I go? I usually don't do lives on here. I usually do them on TikTok. So follow me on TikTok if you want to watch my live. I go live frequently on TikTok. I may even go live tonight. We talk about fibroids, a lot of information about fibroids, about, ovarian cysts, PCOS, endometriosis, fertility health. You're welcome. I'm happy you enjoyed the live, Robin. I just had to get that out. I wasn't even going to do a live, but after watching that series, I was like, you know what? I have a lot to say on this conversation. So let me just do this live really quickly, because a lot of women are lost and they're letting society again torment them. And it's ridiculous to me. I just watch it from the sidelines like, stop allowing society to, again, torment you, to make you anxious. And listen. You see, like I said, I think they said 1 out of 5 women are on anxiety medication. Like a lot of women have all this fibroids, autoimmune disorders. This is also because this feeling of being inadequate, this feeling of, not feeling good enough, and just you gotta work on yourself, okay? It's time to start working on yourself, start healing all these things. And I'm not telling you to live in fear. I'm not telling you to when it comes to men, because most men are not like the lady. No, most men are not like that, but you do attract what you are. You do attract what you are. And I believe that, and I've seen it. Because certain people attract certain men that I'm like, I've never met anything like that, because of where they're vibrating on. Okay, I truly believe that. I don't care what nobody says. Some people think that, oh, random things just happen to you. That's not how life works. I'm sorry. I know that you've been forced to believe that that's not how life works, okay? Random things don't just happen to people. No, you attract what you are. Even in friendships, even in business, you attract what you are. Okay. That's all I wanted to say. Again, register for my free masterclass if you have not already. The link is in my bio, how to improve your menstrual cycles. And that's all. All right. If you have any questions, feel free about my services. Feel free to message me. And I will also put the link to the series, the ladies page, in the comment section, so you guys can watch it if you haven't watched it. I'm telling you, it's really good, okay? All right, ladies, have a good one. Bye.